Just 1 minute, please. Here it is. Okay. 1 minute.
Drain the Swamp by Sage Wonder. There's a swamp where wise men fear to tread. All the creatures there would see you dead. Not everyone sees past the illusion. Created by media confusion. Many great explorers venture in, never to be seen or heard from again. No matter how devout, won't you go when you can get out, till you become one of them. There's a swamp in Washington where the evil deals are done. Hide your daughter, save your son. Once the draining has begun, drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. There are evil deals cut beneath the slime. In DC, there's no such thing as crime. Every evil thing's permitted once the devil is remitted. Every sin can be committed once the paperwork's submitted. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. There's a swamp in Washington. Every evil deal is done. Hide your daughter, save your son, because the draining has begun. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp.
Hello. Okay, holiday's over. We were waiting. We've had an interesting 6 weeks or so of following breadcrumbs. We've had our minds reprogrammed in a very interesting way, because before the Q riddles started being posted, people tended to think about our current situation with one-line thoughts. Love, hate, good, bad, left, right, dun, 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 marching like jackboots to our demise. Okay? And the thing about QAnon, Q clearance, was nobody really knows who or what Q clearance is or was. But the information kept checking out. This taught us something, because we have been brainwashed in our society not to look at information, but to look at people. Black, white, male, female, right, left, old, young, and you would listen to somebody say something and say, well, you can't be listening to that person because he did something nasty to his wife 3 years ago. It's like, what's that got to do with anything? But we were brainwashed. Okay. I even had somebody today accusing me of being somehow a bad person because some of my YouTube subscriptions are to questionable people. It's like, I don't even know who I'm subscribed to. I probably have about 1,000 subscriptions that I subscribe to. And who knows why I subscribed. Sometimes I do it because I feel sorry for somebody. But anyway, we have seen one single video, and I could bring it up here. And it's titled Nevada Unsealed Indictments. You saw me holding a screen up, okay? And I saw that, and I saw that it came out of one of the questionable channels. And I said, you know what? I'm going to wait and see. Well, none of the people that I rely on for legitimate news, and I'm speaking about truther news, we know we're not seeing it in the mainstream, but we have to rely on legitimate, credible sources. And we've got all kinds of people presenting themselves as credible sources. And I expressed my feelings that this has been a LARP. We've been LARPed. A LARP is a live action role play. It means not all of the participants have signed on to play pretend fairy tale games. The ones who are playing the pretend fairy tale game manipulate the others. And some of us began to wonder did we get sucked into something like this? Okay. But then I see this. Okay, well, if this is real, I looked at it. Nobody else is reporting. And I'm going to let this play for a minute and let you listen to it. And then I'll come back and do the rest on the true indictments, that what's really going on with these Nevada indictments. Hold on to your hats. You don't know what I'm going to say. No matter what you're thinking, you don't know. Okay, I'm sorry that it's taking a minute. I thought I had it queued up.
If anybody's watching, it's got 25 people he never followed before. He followed them for a reason.
Okay.
A big reason. Because they're all bad actors, folks. Everybody on
He's talking about Julian Assange.
Bad actors. And you'll see this come to fruition here in the near future. But that's the reason he followed these people. That's the reason he went from following one person to following all these people. It's because he has manipulation of all these people.
This video is okay. He's going on. He titles his video Nevada Unsealed Indictments. And what I just played to you was, he's going on about Julian Assange. He goes on about a lot of things.
But I said, okay, you can't go around saying there are specific indictments coming out of the Northern District Federal Court, the United States Court of the Northern District of Nevada. You can't make a factual statement like that unless something is going on. When you start representing that there are court documents in your hands or in your, presence in the data of your computer, whatever, when you start talking about that, you better be real. And I'm wondering, why is nobody else reporting this? But it's out there, and people are they're memeing each other. Okay, they're using memes. It's like this one guy's reporting it, so you say, oh well, there's only one. Well, when it hits thousands of views, and people go to Facebook and they go to Reddit and they go to all these different forums, all the various personal interest forums, the prepper forums, the truther forums, and they start talking about it, and everyone is citing this source. And he's talking about real court documents, real ones. And it makes sense that if something's going to happen, it's going to come out of Nevada, because we know what's going on with the Bundy Ranch case in Nevada, or what has gone on. So I went looking for the documents, and what I found was this, and I'll read it to you. This is what I showed at the very beginning. In the United States District Court for the Northern District of Nevada, and it names these people: Robert Blair, Thomas Deegan, Jeremy Lau, Peter Ostrowski, Don Bailey, Stephen Dwayne Curry. Then it's got some obscure looking stuff. You have to be a lawyer to understand this part. It says criminal. It says 99-9920. Looks official, whatever. There's no seal on the top of this, mind you. And these names are versus Richard Cheney, John Brennan, John Ashcroft, Robert Mueller, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Kevin Spacey, Barack Obama, John McCain, James Baker, Edgar Bronfman Sr., Paul Wolfowitz, Richard Pearl, Peter Monk, Condoleezza Rice, George Soros, Brent Brzezinski, and Hillary Clinton. In parentheses, Black Op attack on the United States to include the Twin Towers, September, and now there's more, but I read 13 pages of it. For all of these astonished generals, we'll have a field day making each offense penalties. How legal is that? Now, this thing is attributed to the Honorable Judge, let's see. If I go on, I was reading the conclusion of the document. Here we are. The Honorable Jim Hardesty December 22nd, 2017. And it begins, the alarming allegations in relation to the purported Black Op attacks of September 11th, 2001 are enough to warrant yet another superseding indictment concerning only those events. In the wider context of this issue, each of the accused parties, including, will face the death penalty. Now, is anyone who's familiar with normal court documents getting some alarms lifted about what this language is? Because this is being promoted alongside a number of cults associated with Democrat National Committee fronts. I've covered this in my other videos. This is a fraudulent document. And go all the way to the end. As I scroll down quickly. There is no signature on it. Anyone with a typewriter can put something like this together. Now, who is Justice James Hardesty? He is a state of Nevada judge. Okay? He may not even realize his name's been attached to that document. He's not a federal judge. I could not find any listing of him as a federal judge, but I did find this present day listing on the Supreme Court of Nevada. Justice James Hardesty is at the top of the list. And then these other people. So, when we were talking about live action role play, Honorable Jim Hardesty, kind of informal. All right. I've established that we've got an unsigned, rather bizarre and unorthodox looking document here that's being promoted on the web. I found it. What's the name of it here? Oh, this is out of my, okay. It's listed in a document. I'll put the link in the description. This is my downloaded copy. Judge James Hardesty, we've established that. The judge list. Okay, these are the lists of the judges in the District of Nevada. The northern is Judge Navarro, Judge Dawson, Judge Mahan, Judge George, Judge Hunt, Judge Gordon, Judge Dorsey, Judge Boulware, Judge Coppy, Judge Lean, Judge Foley, Judge Hoffman, Judge Ferrimack. No Hardesty. Well, look at the Southern District, even though that document claims it's a Northern District. Judge Jones, Judge Hicks, Judge McKibben, Judge Dew, Judge McQuaid, Judge Cook, and Judge Cobb. No Hardesty. Is the rumor of indictments being promoted by fake counterfeit currency cults that are like cockroaches all over the place? By New Age, weird, fringe of the fringe groups like the rising bag of gas, whose founder's initials are CKC. And she's promoting the idea that to a lot of mentally ill people that these documents are real. Let me show you something else in that document. A lot of what I'm saying might be going over some people's heads. I'm going to open up the comments. I've got them closed down so I wouldn't get distracted. I'll open them up for back and forth. I know there's trolls all over the place in there, and a lot of them are from CKC's Rising Bag of Gas cult. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm sure the trolls will clue you in. All right, what goes on and on about the stuff we've already heard 1,000 times about what we know is a big, big problem with our government's many failures and corruption. And some of it, this is the problem. In an operation like this, a PSYOPs, psychological operation, LARP, live action role play, especially when it's being done by the enemy who's trying to take down the whole country, not trying to take down the government, they're trying to take down everybody. They're trying to take down the American people. The government is just the frosting on the cake as far as they're concerned. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Here we go. Those of this list, I think a couple of them are deceased. And it says those who are deceased will have subpoenas served retroactively post-mortem against all their properties. When is the last time that somebody had their property seized because their grandpa did something wrong and the courts didn't get around to it till 10 years after he died? Do you get the picture about the true indictments we're talking about here? And I want to hear Roy Potter say something about this. He and that other guy there, Jordan Souther, they've been going on about thousands and thousands and thousands of indictments. And we know something's been going on. We know that the president is cleaning things up. But what the president is doing and what these people are talking about, okay? It's as I said to somebody, the mainstream press is too quiet. We know they won't report the news, but they always report something. They make something up. And you could not possibly have these kind of indictments existing without the mainstream news finding some way to make fun of somebody related to it to bring it down, if it were real. But when they're very, very quiet, and the only people that are pushing it just don't, you scratch the surface and there's nothing there. And I notice that Roy Potter's been silent on this. Now, if this were real, Roy Potter has been putting his experience as a military man on the line. Would he stay silent about this since December 22nd? If this were real? Would he? I'm honestly asking the question because I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if he would or wouldn't. I'm talking about Roy Potter QA. That's the name of his channel. Go there, judge for yourself. I believe, I have put my trust in him that he's an honorable, credible reporter. I removed my trust from Jordan Souther when he got heavily involved with the CIA drug mind control program with the ayahuasca thing. The ayahuasca, that's today's LSD, Timothy Leary, which was a CIA program. Now it's ayahuasca, another CIA program. How to get into the mental and spiritual parts of the brain chemically. And what they do, of course, is they go after the opinion leaders. Okay, and most people just say, okay, opinion leader, I'm taking my opinion somewhere else when they see that happen. And now let's see. This is okay. Yeah, the orders. Order that defendant Hillary Clinton's motion to subpoena records be denied. James Baker's motion to subpoena records be denied. The court doesn't deny people's rights to get hold of records when they're defending themselves, okay? I'm not defending these people. I'm defending the way the system works. It is further ordered that defendant John Brennan's motion to subpoena records for discovery be retroactively denied. Private attorney. Here we go. This is where it gets interesting. This is where the rubber hits the road. Number 19, page 12 of these documents. Link will be in the description, I promise you. It is further ordered that according to Marbury versus Madison, I have no idea what that is. It doesn't cite which court, whatever that is. It could have been a divorce case for all we know. Any required subpoenas on each defendant will be enforced by force of law and arms. Okay, that's true. You have a subpoena, the cop's going to enforce it. All able bodies and governing council, National State Council. Oh, what is a National State Council? Private Attorney General designate. What is a private Attorney General designate? I mean, I can well imagine that Hillary Clinton thinks she has private designates. She seems to have done a lot of that in her life. But this is hardly something to be included in something being foisted upon the gullible public as a document. Or authorized militia will enforce the orders. Now, this would be laughable if CBS and ABC News had not just very, very recently broadcast somebody from Chicago, a Democrat from Chicago, standing in front of the UN claiming he was calling in UN troops. We've got a real war going on here. And this kind of foolishness is what gets people hurt, destabilizes communities, because when you don't know if that guy at the door is a real constable with a real indictment or a real subpoena, or one of Cindy K. Courier's nut jobs, or one of any number of other internet YouTube guru cult leader nut jobs, what do? Think about it. What are you supposed to do? Because we're in a situation now where people like that aren't even being taken down for calling themselves, misrepresenting themselves as judges and court, putting out their court documents and putting out their warrant and their arrest warrants. And now this. I want to see those people that are named in this document in handcuffs, but I want them to be real handcuffs put on by real cops that serve the real states, the real federal government, the real deal. Everybody out there. I mean, it would be laughable, except that I have gone to some of those videos and I've seen the number of people who sincerely believe this stuff. And these people are teachers and nurses, and they work in town halls, or they maybe don't work anywhere, but they show up at Starbucks looking good so everyone thinks they're respectable. And if they show up at a local neighborhood watch meeting, and neighborhood watch, now that's where some of this stuff's going to happen. The people who are stupid enough to have joined whatever homeowners Nazi association has been formed, and you've been living there for 20 years, believing you have to go once a month to one of these committees that tells you whether or not you can let your grass grow on the front lawn or where you can plant your tomatoes. And you think that's not part of this? Live action role play is real, genuine warfare. Now, the culmination of all of this, okay? If you need to understand what I'm saying here, the culmination of all of this is coming from Quinn Michaels. Quinn Michaels. Yes, indeed. Here we go. This is a YouTube. I'm trying. Defense Technical Information Center. Let's see. I'm going to try to. Here we go. This is about meme warfare. Meme warfare is LARPs. Meme warfare is how you put an idea out there and you put something visual that goes with it, and you put some tricky language, okay? People who are screaming about flat earth. That's meme warfare, and you can see that it is destroying our society. People who believe that you are from outer space if you have type O blood. People who believe that old lady in England is a lizard. I mean, in the real sense, not just in the figurative sense. That's how destroyed our minds are. It's called meme warfare. It's another level of propaganda. You've got propaganda where you give people the sales pitch and you don't give them all the facts. You give them a couple of true facts and then you give them a bunch of false ones. That's propaganda. Meme warfare is where you set it up so that words become triggers. Gang stalking, okay? We used to know what that meant. It meant that there's 2 or 3 idiots who got together and decided that every time you step outside your house, one of them is going to come up to you. And you can't really get the police to understand what's going on because it's not always the same person bugging you. So the police come up with the conclusion that you must be paranoid. And when people can figure out that it really is going on, like when your neighbors witness it, and they say, yeah, and besides that, they know who the people are and why they're doing it. Like maybe you're somebody that has gray hair and doesn't want to go get them some anti-anxiety drugs to sell in the street. And that's a big gang problem here in Corpus Christi. Okay? Elder people being pressured that way. I mean, when they used to come on my door, they don't come anymore because they know I'm protected. But my first answer to them when they come banging on my door is like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night and I need some painkillers. And ma'am, you look like you might have some. And it's like, well, you want painkillers? I'll give you pain. Okay. But you see what I'm saying? You get 2 or 3 people in a gang, it's called gang stalking. Everyone used to know that. But now you say gang stalking and it's a meme. This meme warfare has attached gang stalking to tinfoil helmets and electronic gadgetry. And you try to talk about it sensibly with somebody, and the next thing you know, they've got you talking to lizard people in England. Quinn Michaels knows about this stuff because he has worked on government programming projects. And he is a pretty big deal whistleblower.
So tonight we're going to be looking at the Defense Technical Information Center. Today some people decided to put videos of my face out on the internet again without coming and being my friend first. So that makes me think you're all running psyops. Videos about me. Welcome to
Okay.
the channel to make
I'll go a little further.
put it on YouTube.
Here we are.
Now to use memes in warfare. It says Mematics in Growth Industry. Author is Major Michael B. Prosser, United States Marine Corps. Tomorrow's U.S. military must approach warfighting with an alternate mindset that is to leverage all elements of national influence that
Okay, I'm going to put the link to that. The point of this is that we have got enemies of the American people in the government, mostly through the Democrats and cooperative Republicans. You know, there's at a certain level, there's no difference. That's going on. And when you've got a crook in that kind of level, they can make fake stuff. But what Queen Michaels is talking about is not fake. It's been known about for a long time. But until the internet began to put people in touch with each other, and the mainstream media, simultaneously with this happening, the mainstream media has abandoned its role as reporting anything that goes on. They're nothing but a bunch of gossips, and not even very good at that. There is no big indictment stuff going on. The executive order that President Trump wrote may result in some arrests, and we may see things happening. But this stuff, this garbage of this fake stuff, as Quinn Michaels has been trying to get people to understand, this is war games. And there are people that are completely trained on the Democrat side that are very skillfully running it the other way. I've had people say to me today that I support some of them because they're naming me in their videos. Quinn Michaels has had to talk through some of these people. He's had to go on with people like Jason Goodman. And he's had to put out a mix. But he's been doing it in such a way that instead of taking the lies and spitting out the truth, you can start to discern the truth and ignore the lies. That was the point of the QAnon exercise, and it was an exercise. QAnon was teaching us to forget whether or not we feel creepy about a guy who wears a hood over his head and has dark eyes because he's not eating that well because he lives in his car. And recognizing that, you know something, if you were trying to do what this guy's trying to do, you probably are going to end up looking kind of sick living in your car. But you don't look at that. You look at the facts. And a great deal of the facts that he has put out are true. But they're being twisted and misrepresented by what is false. And by who is false. I'll open it up. I'm going to try to ignore the trolls and try to get it genuine interest. Okay. There, I can see you. Move down your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I breathing into my mic? Oh my God. Did I breathe into my mic through the whole show? Ah! Well, you know what? If it's really that bad that I breathed into my mic through the whole show, send the link to all the trolls. MPT bad. I don't know what you mean, Anon. Listen, y'all can do what you want with it. I'm going to shut this link off, and it's going to take me 10 or 15 minutes to put the links in the description. And if you're waiting to see anything happen out there in the real world, don't hold your breath. God bless you. Denise Matteau, Cheap Phone Ninja, over and out.